Yes, Rangata.
Okay. So, if you are all ready, I will start reading each line and we will see. The chapter is equality and knowledge. When you go to equality, then your mind becomes absolutely silent like a lake which is without waves, and you get knowledge. And if you get knowledge, also your you become equal to everything. You become absolutely objective about everything. Okay. Now he is talking about faith. So now he is talking about faith. I'll read each sentence. Okay.
Good morning.
Finally, hello.
No, good morning,
Yes.
Rangada.
Good
Good morning.
morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. So finally, we must have a faith which no intellectual doubt can be allowed to disturb. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. The ignorant who has not faith, the soul of doubt goes to perdition. Neither this world, perdition in the sense of destruction. Okay? Neither this world nor the supreme world nor any happiness is for the soul full of doubts. Okay? So this is the translation, the 4th chapter, 40th verse. Okay? And the 40th verse goes like this. Ajjanas ashraddhanascha, ashraddhana, the one doesn't have faith. Samshayatma vinashyati, he gets destroyed. Nayam loko asti na paro sukham samshayatmana. The one who has got doubts, there is no happiness for him either in this world or in any other world. That's it. So you should have faith. Doubt should go away. There should be no doubt at all. Faith should be there. Faith and doubt are opposites. There is a very interesting letter to Dilip Kumar Roy where he speaks about doubt. Okay, so Dilip Kumar Roy has got his own doubts about the supermentalization and all that. So Shrivda says, what doubts are you talking about? I had huge, immense doubts. Okay, so doubts come. So long as you have a mind, doubts will come, but they have to be dismissed. And when faith comes, all doubts disappear. Okay? So, in fact, it is true that without faith, nothing decisive can be achieved either in this world or for possession of the world above. Neither in the spiritual plane of consciousness nor in the physical world can you do anything without faith. Okay? And that it is only by laying hold of some sure basis and positive support that man can attain any measure of terrestrial or celestial success. Again, he is repeating, even terrestrial success, you must have faith. And faith will make you do everything in a very tenacious manner. You will not easily give up things. If you have got doubt, there are many people who start it and give it up very easily. Okay. But the one who has got faith, okay, he will go on, go on, go on until he succeeds. So when faith is there, then automatically also determination to continue the work comes, and persistence, patience, and perseverance. These three things also come with faith. Even if you fail temporarily, your soul will keep you pushing towards patience, perseverance, and persistence. You will go on, go on, go on. So, and in the physical world also it's like that. Those who try for something and fail, they don't give up. And there's a very interesting, there's a very interesting saying by, strangely enough, a politician who says that you are not defeated when you fail in some work. You are not defeated when you fail in some work. You are defeated when you give up the effort. It's a very interesting saying. Okay, when you give up the effort out of doubt and lack of faith, then you are defeated. But you are not defeated when you fail temporarily in some work. You have to go on and on and on. So that's exactly what is being discussed here in this paragraph. Faith is essential, okay? Either for terrestrial work or celestial. And I think last time we mentioned how many people, I like to usually refer to two. One is that um, fellow who invented the um electric bulb. He failed 200 times, 250 times he failed. Finally, he got it right. Okay? And there is also the story of Pierre and Marie Curie, the ones who discovered radioactivity. They went on for 4 5 years continuously until they got the material which was radium. Okay, and that is that was the, pardon? Yes, Shilpa, you're saying something? Okay. All right. So maybe she was talking at home to somebody. So I'm reading that sentence again. In fact, it is true that without faith, nothing decisive can be achieved either in this world or for possession of the world above. He's using different words here, in the world or possession of world above. And later on, he is using the words terrestrial and celestial success, either here or above. Okay? Achieved either in this world or for possession of the world above. And that's only by laying hold of some sure basis and positive support that man can attain any measure of terrestrial or celestial success and satisfaction and happiness. The merely skeptical mind loses itself in the void. I can give you another example also of persistence and perception. Okay, many countries did not want India to become a space pioneer. Okay, so they withheld the cryogenic engine for the rocket. They withheld. They told Russia not to give it to India, and they did not. But India did not bother about it. And in Mahendragiri is in the south, it's a testing station. They developed the cryogenic engine on their own. Okay, maybe with a little help with Russia. Okay? So that also is something you have to go on. After 10 years, they managed to do it. Yes. Skepticism has to be overcome by faith. Then we go to the next sentence. But still, in the lower knowledge, doubt and skepticism have their temporary uses. In the higher, they are stumbling blocks. For there, the whole secret is not the balancing of truth and error, but a constantly progressing realization of revealed truth. So, Sherry is saying that doubt also has got some a function in the world, but not in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, there should be no doubt at all. That is a very, very disabling element in you in the spiritual world. But in the physical world, because there is a mixture of truth and falsehood, you have to have doubt as to doubt should be positive. Without being negative, you doubt certain things, and that allows you to develop the right thing and eliminate the error. Okay? It's because of that that doubt is. So doubt is only a word. Okay? You should see that something is wrong, and you should be able to find the solution to it. That's what is meant by positive doubt. Okay, so doubt is a very is a word that is usually implied and used negatively, but actually it can be also something very positive. If someone tells you that there is a goat going about in the park with 5 heads, naturally you will doubt it. So you have to doubt always the untruth and go towards the truth. That you have to use a discrimination. So positive doubt uses discrimination to find out the truth and the falsehood. Okay? For there, the whole secret is not the balancing of truth and error as it is in the physical world, because we have dualities. In the physical world, dualities. In the spiritual world, no duality at all, only oneness. So, but a constantly progressing realization of revealed truth. the truth gets revealed to you in the spiritual planes.
Rang,
In intellectual
Rangada?
knowledge, yes, yes,
One question, like,
yes,
when people are in the, they are on the yogic path, they sometimes hear voices or something, and which, I mean, may not be the divine voice. So that also
yes,
we have to doubt it, no? So
yes.
so at what in what place when we
No,
stop doubting?
no, but at that time you are not in the divine consciousness. No, you are not in the spiritual consciousness. It can, by the time you are in the spiritual consciousness, also these doubtful voices can come to you. But you have developed
Yes.
a faith and you can reject it very easily. But when you are in the normal consciousness, doubt can be very disabling, okay? And you have to struggle to get it. So what you're saying is right. But if the wrong voice or the wrong hearing comes in the spiritual planes, you are not deceived very easily. If you remember the interesting experience of Nolila, okay, he had that experience once when Srivna came to him and said that I want to wrestle with you or something like that. Okay, I think we have referred to this earlier, and Yasmin also told the actual thing about that. He saw something defective in the leg, so he immediately had a
Yes.
doubt. But that doubt is positive doubt. It's not lack of faith, and he knew that this is not Srivna. Okay, so when you are in the spiritual plane of consciousness, doubt does not remain there. It's a progressive realization of revealed truth. Truth is replaced by a greater truth. But
But
you can doubt.
Rangada,
Yes, yes.
do we, when we are in that consciousness, do we know that we are in that consciousness?
Oh, yes, definitely. In fact, sometimes you know it so strongly that you think that that's the ultimate. And that's the problem. When you are in the consciousness of the self, you know that this is special. And sometimes you feel that there is a final. It goes so far. Yes, yes,
Oh.
there is a certainty about all the spiritual experience. There can be no doubt at all. Sometimes it can be overconfidence, as
Yeah.
I said. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, in intellectual knowledge, there is always a mixture of falsehood or incompleteness which has to be got rid of by subjecting the truth itself to skeptical inquiry. Now, the skeptical inquiry in the physical world, you have to constantly use discrimination, viveka. Okay? You have to constantly use and then struggle. But the struggle is not so much there in the spiritual planes of consciousness. So they're saying very clearly, intellectual knowledge in the beginning of the sentence. Intellectual knowledge, you are in the normal physical, normal mind. Okay, and there also there are three minds. Remember, first is the physical mind, then there is a vital mind, and then there is a pure mind. So all these three, doubt can come into it always. Okay, when you are in the lower level, level one. Okay? There's always a mixture of falsehood and incompleteness, either falsehood or incompleteness. Incompleteness is half truth, half falsehood, which has to be got rid of by subjecting the truth itself to skeptical inquiry. That's exactly what Srinivasa was doing. When he had the experience of power, he had to test it out to see whether it is real or it is not the real thing. Remember, he was experimenting first with animals. Finally, he experimented with events in history. Okay, do I really have that power to change things? So he used to experiment. Okay, he used to. I told you about that crow. A crow was sitting on a parapet, terrace parapet, and he willed it to go to a branch in the tree. So he's testing out his knowledge. So that's what he's meaning here also. Skeptical inquiry, and that inquiry also is in the lower levels of spiritual consciousness. You are testing it out. Okay? Seeing how far it is efficient. It's not doubt, but it is a verification. Just like in science also, no? Science is constantly verifying the truth of the truth of the theories that they are making. They never see the truth. Science never sees the truth. They only have theories, and they see how far the theory is valid by verification, okay, and repetition of experience. So this is the skeptical inquiry. And it's a very rational way of doing things. But rationality is not applicable in the spiritual plane of consciousness. Now, but in the higher knowledge, that's the spiritual plane of consciousness, falsehood cannot enter. And that which intellect contributes by attaching itself to this or that opinion cannot be got rid of by mere questioning, but will fall away of itself by persistence in realization. Okay, so note the word persistence. Okay, there has to be the false things will go away by itself. Just imagine Sriramda's experience also and exactly how he dealt with it. When he had the experience of the self in Baroda, he saw the physical world as unreal. Now, there was a little bit of that. Is this real? Is this the final truth or is it not? So he waited patiently. And when he waited patiently, without being thrown about this side and that side, he waited patiently and he was rewarded with the knowledge that this is only one aspect of truth. The other aspect of truth is that there is a reality in the physical world. So he goes on and has to test out, attaching himself to this or that opinion. The samatha comes in, na? This or that opinion. You don't start jumping about and saying this is true and that is not true. You are only watching. When you are a witness, you are only watching without any judgment. That and that attitude itself will reveal to you what is true and what is false. Okay. I read the next sentence. Whatever.
Rangada,
Yes, yes. Tell me.
can you say that? Can you say Sri Aurobindo's thinking that this impersonal realization is not the whole? Can you say that
That's right.
doubt too? Can you say that doubt too?
Can we say that?
Doubt. Can you call that doubt too?
Now,
Sri Aurobindo
it's not
doubted-
doubt.
Mhm.
It is not really doubt. It is a doubt which comes in without disabling effect. Okay. Without disabling, he did not doubt much, but he felt instinctively that this cannot be real ultimate truth. So he waited. He waited. When he waited, after some time, it came him that it's only one aspect of.
Okay, thank you,
Okay.
Rangada. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, thank you.
Then, whatever incompleteness there is in the knowledge attained, it must be got rid of, not by questioning at its roots. This is the answer to Sonki's question. Is the doubt there? It's not doubt, but look at the sentence very carefully. Whatever incompleteness there is in the knowledge. Okay? So, when you see the physical world as unreal, it is not total falsehood. It is incomplete knowledge. Okay? So, when incomplete knowledge is there, then you have to what to do. He is telling you what to do. Whatever incompleteness is there in the knowledge attained, it must be got rid of, not by questioning in its roots. Okay? Not that. Okay? Then questioning by roots means intellectual doubts. Okay? One more what has been realized by questioning in its roots what has already been realized, but by proceeding to further and more complete realization through a deeper, higher, and wider living in the spirit. Truth is replaced by higher truth. That's what Sadhguru is saying. Okay? Intellectual doubt should not be there, and most probably it is also not there. Intellectual doubt is not there. And what is not realized must be prepared for by faith, not by skeptical questioning. Because this truth is one which the intellect cannot give, and which is indeed often quite opposed to the ideas in which the reasoning and logical mind gets entangled. When you are in the ordinary consciousness, it's a daily occurrence actually. We are always having doubts. Should I do this or should I do that? There's always a uncertainty in all our actions. not by skeptical questioning, because this truth is one which the intellect cannot give, and which is indeed often quite opposed to the ideas in which the reasoning and logical mind gets entangled. Okay? It is not a truth which has to be proved, but a truth which has to be lived inwardly. A greater reality into which we have to grow. Then, finally, it is in itself a self-existent truth and would be self-sufficient, self-evident, if it were not for the sorceries of the ignorance in which we live. Okay? Now, the word sorcery is very interesting, like magic, okay? Like black magic. So, ignorance is that which actually covers your knowledge and your soul. So, you are in doubt and you don't see the reality. So, that is there, and we have to, so it has to be lived inwardly. If you live inwardly, then there is no problem. But until then, this sentence you see carefully now, finally it is in itself a self-existent truth and would be self-sufficient, self-evident, if it were not for the sorceries of the ignorance in which we live. That is the reason why there is always doubt that comes. Okay? In that, which means that in the ignorance, when you are seeing the falsehood and truth mixed, your mind is a very powerful tool. It allows you to use discrimination, and at that level, mind is a very powerful instrument. In the next level, mind is not an instrument at all. It's a disability in the spiritual planes of consciousness. Okay. That was one of the problems with Amal Kiran also. Highly intellectual, very, very intellectualized, but that itself is a problem. I think I told you once, I asked him point blank, Amal, have you been able to make your mind silent? And he said, no, but I can silence other minds. So I said, how do you do that? He said, by argument. So that is typically the attitude of the mental being. Okay? Argument, constant argument, and positing one aspect of the truth to another aspect of the truth. That's why debating is so common. Debating how to use your mind to destroy the other argument. Okay? Anyway, so in the spiritual planes of consciousness, this doubt should not be there and is normally not there. If you are, and also remember there is a gradation. That gradation is very important. Even in the spiritual planes, gradations are there until you go right into the supermind. If you go into supermind, there is no more any doubt. Everything gets very, very clear. I told
Can I
you.
ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Now, if you want to go into the spiritual level of consciousness, like the higher mind, then
Yes.
is it mandatory and essential that the mind has to be silent? Because Amal could write poetry from the higher mind or any higher plane, but his mind was not silent. So if your mind is not silent, are you in a position to receive what is there from the higher levels?
Yes, you can receive, but the reception will be slightly defective. It will not be, if your mind is absolutely silent, you will receive almost the correct thing. But if your mind is not, you will receive. Intuition does come in, but it comes in distorted. Because the vibrations in the mind distort the incoming intuition. And that is why he used to give it his poems to Sri Aurobindo, and Sri Aurobindo would make small corrections. Okay? The corrections implies that his reception was not always very good. In fact, I just came across a video yesterday where Maurice is interviewing Amal Kiran, and he asks him about how he constructs his poems, and they contrasted with Arin. Arin was one who used to, like a flood, he used to get poetry and he used to write it down without the slightest doubt. So Amal replied in that video that no, he was very slow and it was not like a flood. Okay, so When it's like a flood, you receive perfectly. Now, Harin was hardly a perfect spiritual person with a silent mind. He was not. Finally, he had to go away also. But his poetry was absolutely, he used to get poetry like very easily. Whenever he sat down for poetry, it used to come. And sometimes his poetry used to flow through him even when he was not ready. It is said about him that he used to have a typewriter on his belly when he was even sleeping, lying down. Amal told me that once. And he used to start immediately clicking the typewriter to get the poem down into writing. That was the sort of thing. He was an exception. Amal says very clearly that no.
Rangada,
Yes.
but in his last life, Harin was P.B. Shelley.
You are saying that, but I have never come across that. Okay? I have never come across that.
This was told to me by Manoj Das.
I have my own doubts about the thing because Shelley was not an
Rangada.
evolutionary being. Shelley was not an evolutionary being. So whether he would take birth again is a very doubtful proposition. He was a
Rangada, I have another
yes.
question here pertaining to
Pardon?
this. Sorry, pertaining to this, that it needn't be that all poetry is actually from the higher mind or overmind, or it needn't be. No? Can you hear me?
I can follow exactly what you're saying, Achanadi.
What I'm saying is that all poetry need not be from the higher realms.
Oh, yes, absolutely. You're right. It can come from anywhere. It can come from the subconscious. It can come
One thing is that so even if somebody is writing very yes, Rangada.
That's right. You are right. It can come from the inner mind. It can come from the inner vital. Okay. It can come from the intraconscious, and it can come from the supraconscious. It can come from all these areas. So it's not necessary that you are receiving poetry always from above. That is correct. What you're saying is absolutely right. But even then, you need to receive it.
Second thing, that's what I was going to say, that it could be, we can think of it like a pond. See, if a pond is completely still, then the shadow which falls on it is perfect. But if there is some vibration, and depending on the quality, how much the vibration is, the image becomes that much worse.
Yes, quite right. That's it. So about Harin being Shelley, I have a very great doubt about it. But Jasmine, the other day you told us that it was Amal who told you about Harin's previous life being Shelley. Now you are saying it is Manoj Das.
No. Then I was thinking, and I said, it was Manoj Das who told me.
No. I have great doubts about that because, as I told you, Surendra has confirmed that Shelley was not an evolutionary being. In other words, he is not one to take birth repeatedly. That is categorical. So, how can he take birth again when he is not an evolutionary being? He came down once for experience, for the experience of the soul. But Surendra never says that he had a birth again. I don't know from where he got that knowledge, but he may be right, but it sounds very doubtful to me.
But do only evolutionary beings keep on coming again and again? We also keep on coming again and again.
You are an evolutionary being. You are not a being from the higher worlds.
Huh.
I'm talking of the non-evolutionary beings who are stationed in the spiritual planes.
Who just sort of the psychic being just comes down for a certain work for the divine.
That's right.
So was P.B. Shelley somebody like that?
Shelley was one such person who came down for a psychic experience, and that's why his poetry is full of psychic influence. the Skylark and all these, Sendra said very clearly that he was not a revolutionary being. Okay, so
Okay.
let's get back to our text. We'll finish this paragraph now. Okay, so the essence is sorceries of the ignorance in which the doubts, the perplexities which prevent us from accepting and following it arise from that ignorance, from the sense bewildered, opinion perplexed heart and mind, living as they do in a lower and phenomenal truth, and therefore questioning the higher realities. Ajnana sambhutam hrisam samshayam. Ajnana sambhutam, taking birth from ignorance, hrisam, okay, settled in the heart, and samshayam, doubt. So these doubts are coming from the vital, which are coming from the ignorance, samshayam, the doubts that come from. And what to do with them? They have to be cut away by the sword of knowledge, says the Gita. By the knowledge that realizes, by the knowledge, says the Gita, by the knowledge that realizes, by resorting constantly to yoga, that is, by living out the union with the Supreme, whose truth being known, all is known. Yasmin Vijjate Sarvam Vijjata. This is the fourth chapter, slokas 41 and 42. 41 and 42. So that's what Sendra is saying here. You have to take the sword of knowledge and cut away the untruth in them. Then you get knowledge by itself, it dawns on you by itself. So this is we have got only 6 minutes left, but the next one is quite a big para. So I don't know if you can read it. The higher knowledge we then get is that which is to be known. So I think we can read it, even if it goes a little beyond 8:40, we can read it. We have got 5 minutes, we can read it. One of you has to read it.
What exactly is the meaning of this word Yasmin here?
Yasmin. Yasmin means that in which.
Oh.
It's your name.
Yeah, that's why I want to know.
Yeah. Yasmin is a locative of yah. Okay. Yasmin means in which. In which is Yasmin. Yasmin Vijjate means that which being known, everything is known. And it's usually put in the locative absolute. That's a very peculiar grammatical term which does not exist in Sanskrit. Yasmin Vijjate means that which being known, all is known. That's what it is.
And
Yasmin is the locative. Yeah, tell me.
no, in the same thing, I have a question about Ritstham. Ritstham is what?
Sarika, I didn't follow you. Tell me again.
No, what is the meaning of Ritstham?
Oh, it's thumb. Tha means settled in, based in. Na? Sa, from the root sa. Sa to stand.
Rit is what?
Rit, thumb, settled in the heart. It means
heart.
settled in. It means the higher vital maybe, or even the vital. Ritsam is your hridaya. So that is the.
I was confused between Rit means truth and Rit means heart. So I was a little confused with that.
No, so some means settled in.
Yeah.
Aged in. Yeah. From sa.
Yeah.
I has to stand. So when you're standing there, you're settled there. That's what it means.
So Stha I know.
And this
I
is
had a doubt in
this is Rit. Sarika,
Ah.
this is not Rit. This is Rit. Na? H.
Yeah.
There is an H. So
Yeah,
Rit
I had
is
that
to do
doubt.
with the heart. Na?
Yeah. That's what
Rit
I
is heart. Na?
a small doubt.
Okay.
Yeah.
That the T and the D are interchangeable in Sanskrit. No?
Yeah, that's why.
Absolutely interchangeable in Tamil. And Tamil all completely, not only interchangeable, but even pronounced in a different way. In Sanskrit, the Sandhi rules change the into a the
Yeah,
depending on what is coming after that.
that's where my doubt was, Rangada.
Yeah. Now it's clear.
Yeah,
You can say very strictly if you want, it has to be Rid Stham. Okay?
Hmm.
Rid. But it becomes Rid in the Sandhi.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We'll stop here today. Only 2 minutes more. We'll take up next time. The higher knowledge we then get. We'll get from there. So one can see how detailed Srimdo's text is. No? Every time you read Srimdo's text, you really marvel at all the meaning that he puts into each word. Okay? Very condensed language. Okay. Au
okay.
revoir, everybody. Have a nice day.